Then all the money we earned was basically just us drinking champagne and alcohol. And then after that, it's like, fuck!
That is the northern part of Jutland. Yeah. I know that. Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of the Nest Talks. Today we have Morten with us, and it's gonna be a great episode, mainly because we have 3 people and 2 of us have a hangover, and it's not me, but now it's out. But it's gonna be great. That's how entrepreneurs does it, maybe
Maybe,
work,
yeah, maybe.
just like. But we're glad that you are here, and yeah, let's just maybe dig into it. First of all, tell us a bit, maybe a short pitch about yourself first, and like what you do.
My name is Morten. I'm 29. I'm originally from Aalborg, and I've been running a company with my best friend for 10 years now. We just had a 10-year anniversary, and what I like to do is focus on building products and technology, and especially the intersection between products and technology. That's what I like to focus on.
And you said, okay, so 10 years ago you founded the company.
Yeah.
19 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's my math. Woo.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty accurate.
But
19 years.
all right, and how do you, like, it was in high school then, or just finished high school?
I think I just finished high school. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you just had this vision, or?
Well, actually, both me and Christian, my best friend, we actually decided to go to university, and I just ended up being at these lectures, and instead of listening, I was just sitting with my laptop coding on the project, and that was like the very beginning. We didn't even know what this would be, and we didn't think to ourselves, let's start a company and let's make money. We just thought this would be really cool to try and solve, like that 19-year-old naivety.
Yeah.
So what was the initial idea that you were trying to solve?
Well, the funny thing is that our initial idea is not what we're doing today at all. Our initial idea was to build a product, like a very social product, where people could go together and form groups for a specific product. So if all of us wanted the same product, but we maybe lived different places in Denmark, we could go together and then get a group discount.
Right.
And this was before Groupon, by the way. But basically where demand could affect supply.
Yeah.
And we actually built the site. Just nothing happened. We couldn't get any users because we didn't have any offers. We couldn't get any offers because we didn't have any users, and we didn't have any money or anything to just market it. We couldn't get the product.
So that was the first year or 2, and then it pivoted?
The first half year.
What was it called?
Our initial company is called WEO, W-E-O. Like we something we were thinking. There was some social.
WEO.
Yeah. It's an awful name. But yeah, we built that site and was just like, this is not gonna work. And then we just scrapped the whole thing. And then we were like, okay, we kind of like doing something within shopping. We thought that was really cool. And then by chance, we saw that Factor DK and Irma DK and all these big retailers, on their website, you can just go in and download their PDF.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is 10 years ago. You can just download this PDF and it's full of content, like 500 offers or whatever. And that's the solution. We have the content now, and we don't have to ask anyone. We can just go in, download the PDF, and then we're on our way. But then we spent another 6 months building an algorithm that can semi-automatically extract all the offers from a PDF. It's actually a very tricky problem because a PDF is just XML behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But we had to figure out a way to get all the offers out and structure it in a database, so every offer is its own thing. And we had to do that in a way where we could still build out our product and our business while getting the offers in, just 2 people. So we had to build something that could actually make it possible for just 2 guys doing that. So we spent 6 months doing that, and it actually turned out to work. Every Friday night we just sat there and extracted all the offers with the system.
And what was the business model at this point?
We never had like a business model or thought to ourselves, this is how we're gonna make money. We just thought it would be really cool if people could just go someplace and then have all the catalogs in Denmark in one place.
Yeah.
Without having to browse through them.
Yeah.
You could just search.
Yeah.
And you hate getting those, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everybody.
But how, like, because, alright, so you learned how to code before this?
Yeah.
Alright, that's just like, that was your hobby, or?
When I was, I think I was 15 years old.
Okay.
And I was playing basketball and playing Counter-Strike. I still play Counter-Strike, by the way.
Right? Where can we find you?
It's a Silver Elite Master, it's awful. No, but coding was never something I even considered. I was playing basketball, and then by chance, one of my friends, 2 of my friends actually from basketball, introduced me to Christian, who was coding at that time. And me and him, we just hit it off immediately. We actually started out just sitting at his place every night, just doing Photoshop, just for fun. You know, just make filters and flames and all that stuff. Yeah. We even made a website, our own website, B&B, and we immediately once we met each other, we just started doing stuff together.
That's cool.
Not with the idea of making a business. We just liked making projects on the computer. We did that, and then we had this idea of we noticed that when people were at a private party, the way they shared the images from the private party at that time, again, this is 10 years ago. I feel so fucking old when I say this. They were emailing the images, and you have a 25 megabyte cap on emails.
Oh yeah.
Probably less at that time. So you could like maybe share, I don't know, 10, 20 images or something like that. And it was very like tedious and slow and all that stuff. So we actually made a website with this Java applet on the website.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's awful. Where it actually downscaled the images on the client before you uploaded the images. So it made all the images super small, but good enough. And then it could upload all the images immediately. So you could actually take your private party and make it public. And this was before Facebook arrived in Denmark and all that stuff. And you could tag people and everything. And it didn't get huge, but it was actually rather huge in the northern part of Jutland, where I'm from.
Ah, nice.
And
so you got many users on there. So, okay.
Yeah, and we sold that for like nothing, but for us it was huge.
What did you sell it for?
It's like 150,000 kroner or something.
That's good.
Yeah, when you're so young.
Yeah.
Not bad.
How old were you?
I can't remember, maybe 17-ish, 18.
Oh, so that was before?
Yeah, before.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It was right that you started at the age of 15.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and then all the money we earned was basically just us drinking champagne and alcohol. And then after that, it's like, fuck!
That is the northern part of Jutland. I know that. I always go there, loaded with spirits, and they just drink like crazy up there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you've got some other, another skill that you haven't told the rest of
I'm still kind of drunk.
Planet.
Yeah. Fuck reinvesting.
No, I don't usually drink this much, but this podcast is bad timing. But we just and the cool thing was that this guy who bought our, it wasn't even a company, by the way, it was just a project. They actually bought the domain technically.
Oh yeah.
We were just like, we had this new idea, this social shopping idea.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, hey, we know this guy, and he has some money. And then we just contacted him, pitched the idea, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. Later, I found out that the reason why they invested in us was not because of the idea, but just because they liked me and Christian, which is really cool. And they've always been super supportive, and they were kind of like a sleeping partner in the sense that they didn't really tell us what to do in the beginning. They allowed us to just fuck everything up ourselves and just kind of build our own business, which was actually kind of amazing. I hear a lot of stories.
They bought into which one?
The company today.
Okay, yeah.
We actually ended up giving them 50% for 125,000 kroner. That's how much money you needed to make an APS.
All right, yeah.
I think it's like 80,000 now.
Yeah. And you gave how many percent?
50.
50. Okay.
Yeah, which is a lot.
Yeah, that's a
lot. But at that time we just had an idea.
Yeah. Okay.
And we didn't know anyone else that could provide any kind of cash.
Yeah.
And all that money was just all that money essentially just went to sandwiches.
The 50,000?
125,000.
100. Yeah. Okay.
So all the money you made, it was for champagne and sandwiches.
Yeah, well, the investment was sandwiches. The cool thing about that investment, it allowed us to build a product without having to have another work.
Yeah.
Like it allowed us to focus.
Yeah.
It was just at that time where you're going for an apartment by yourself and all that stuff, so you had a lot of expenses, and that was really amazing that you could actually focus on one thing and not have to worry about.
So you did not build this in a garage. You actually
apartment.
You had a flat. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Struggling with paying the rent.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. And when was the first time you got into entrepreneurship? Like, did you was that with the 15-year-old you launching this and trying these Photoshop things?
But the funny thing is, I've never thought about it being entrepreneurship. I've always just loved building projects with software. Like I've had friends and they've always been super creative with like hardware and do stuff and everything. I've never really done that. I'm not good at that. But once I met Christian and was introduced to software, like, oh wow, this is amazing. You can just like sit like that and then build something, and then you can just ship it.
Yeah.
And you can just stay in the room. You don't have to do anything. Yeah, it's really amazing.
So your passion is to like build things.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually about Christian. So can you recommend going, with your best friends and to create a company together? Like, how is that? Like,
well, first of all, I can highly recommend getting a co-founder.
Yeah.
I can't imagine starting a company alone. I really think a co-founder is really important, and especially a co-founder that is unlike you. Obviously, you can do it yourself as well, but this was really amazing.
Yeah.
So we've had a lot of struggles, me and Christian.
Yeah.
And especially because you're starting out a company which starts to become super serious at some point because it actually became really popular.
Yeah.
So you have responsibility and you have employees and all that stuff. Like it's not just a project you're doing it by yourself. No. You actually have responsibility and you have to pay the salary, and there's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And then starting that company while you're kind of growing up in your 20s with your best friend, that causes a lot of friction.
Yeah.
And you don't even know who you are yourself. I can recommend it, but that was really a journey personally and professionally.
It's so much about a specific person, I think.
Yeah. But I think the cool thing about me and Christian is that while we've been super not in agreement, like a lot of times we've been disagreeing on topics. I think that's really good. There's been this friction where we've really talked about something, and it might just be this super small detail, but we've really, with passion, talked about every single thing and really wanted it to be perfect. So I actually think this friction and this disagreement was really beneficial for the project. We both cared a lot, and I think that really shaped the product.
Yeah.
What I also would like to hear a bit about was like, so you have been going with this for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And I know that have happened a lot in the last 10 years in terms of online presence and so how do you just like you must have changed it a lot during the 10 years, right? So and it's constantly you need to keep up with the market and also innovate, and you also need to have like the business going and at the same time, you know, which is really difficult. I know, I at least think that's tough. How do you do that?
Yeah, that's not a simple answer. The thing is that once you have a great idea that works, it's seldom that you actually change the fundamentals of the idea, and we haven't done that. We've changed the design and we've maybe added new features, but essentially the fundamentals of the idea is the same. And when that's strong, you don't have to do a lot of different stuff, in my opinion. You just have to focus on doing that thing really well. Initially, I thought we just had to add features all the time, and it was a race and everything, but now I realize that it's about actually making as few things as possible and really focusing on just that one thing. But at the same time, we are in a place where physical catalogs are going down. More than 50% of the Danish population are opting out of these catalogs. At some point, they'll stop making physical catalogs. That will happen at some point, maybe in 5 years, I don't know. And we've been like, there's going to be a replacement for this at some point.
Yeah.
And we don't want a competitor to do it.
No.
So we've kind of disrupted ourselves recently by making a digital replacement for a PDF.
Yeah.
Where instead of you making the catalog manually, we've made a system that can actually generate a catalog automatically and on the fly, and that adapts to your phone. You don't have to zoom, and you can read the text.
Something that's really important for me to get you to answer to is like, what's your most valuable lesson you have learned through your venture through these 10 years and even before? Like, if you had something you could pass on to maybe there's someone just starting their venture, being 15, 20 years old, want to, you know, build a product and get that off the ground. What would you say to them? Like, this, you need to you need to get this right.
Yeah. Well, my answer to this is always kind of different, because I usually say avoid all advice you can get.
Why is that?
Okay.
Because what worked for me 10 years ago doesn't work for you today. And you have to learn by yourself. But if I have to say something, a lot of people say learn from your mistakes, and that's really true. But I would also say learn from your success. Like, what did work for you?
Yeah.
And then do more of that, or use that in another way. Don't just learn from your mistakes. Then you only know what didn't work. Like, learn from what you actually know works. I've done that a lot.
So what particularly you have learned?
Oh, that's so different from our product and all that stuff. I think what I've learned is that if you really focus like on the end user, the people, the person that's using the product, not just the consumer. We don't use that word consumer even. If you focus on the person, the individual human being who's gonna use your product, and you really focus on them, making the best thing for them, then usually money will follow. That's what I've learned.
And what
you
about?
also find out that actually they don't care about all the features that you think, right?
No.
And all the colors and everything that is in the background.
More features doesn't mean more success at all.
Yeah.
But you know, this journey sounds like amazing and perfect. You know, best friends, building a venture, like employees,
almost.
and just like everything going great. I want to just really fast, the biggest mistake of yours. Can we just stick into it, or at least like hear something about where it did not go that well?
There's so many mistakes. Like our servers crashed every Friday evening because we didn't know how to optimize our code. We like I remember one time we had to pay mums. Is that like VAT or something?
Yeah, VAT. Yeah.
Yeah. What? You have to pay that? Like 200,000 kroner? What the fuck, man? You know? Just really like learning about liquidity in a company. That's really a reason for you defining when they have to pay at the latest, because you have to pay salaries. That whole
cash flow
machine. The cash flow thing. I was like, wow, this is actually real. I never thought about it, like a cash flow and VAT and all those things. Right. And then, like, scaling a company, that's really, really difficult, I found. Because it's not about just scaling the tech, and then that's great. You have to scale, like, the culture has to work, the hiring, and people have to be happy, and there's so many things to run a company that you just don't consider.
No.
But when we started, the only thing we focused on was just the product.
Yeah.
So where do you go for inspiration then, if you don't want to listen to any advice?
Like how I get inspiration?
Yeah.
When I see other people being focused, or I see a movie about some person doing something great, it could be a painter or just an entrepreneur or something. But when I see people who are focused, who are really passionate about what they do, and doesn't matter what it is, then I become super focused and passionate. So I actually really get a lot of energy from other people, and I'm really inspired, and I'm like, okay, if they're focusing right now, I want to focus too, you know. and that's the vibe me and Christian always had when we started the company. Like, we just two people. He wanted it so much, and I also wanted it so much, and like this passion was. That's how I get it. I remember I saw The Social Network. About Facebook starting up and everything, and while there's some bad aspects to that, but I just remember when I saw that movie, I just went home and like coded the entire night on our project, because
with a beer.
Yeah, no, not a beer, but yeah, I really get energy from that.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna link top 3 movies in the description for sure.
But I think that was all about entrepreneurship. 2 more episodes are coming your way about co-living and happiness. And we'll share them. So stay tuned, guys. Have a good one, and see you next time, or next time.
Next time.
Don't do that.
It was not that bad. Okay, it was pretty bad. Great.
You're gonna be a great dad.
Maybe he already is.
Yeah. Oh fuck.